This is a Note to Future Me, April 16th, 2018. Adding music to podcast content's always been a sticky question. Will iTunes take you down for including music that's not podcast-safe music? Well, first and foremost, if this is a concern you have with adding music to your podcast, ask yourself if adding music will make it a better podcast for your listeners. If the addition of music to your podcast is just something you think will be cool or would add some hipness to your podcast, or you want your podcast to sound like a radio show, or you just want to freshen up the sound of your podcast, ultimately adding music is just a crutch. Maybe focus on the content instead, and you may start to realize that adding music really isn't the fix you think it will be for your podcast. Now, that being said, music in a podcast is a great element to incorporate once you find the right music that fits your podcast, and you're using it to create value for your listeners, as I mentioned earlier. There are numerous sources you can go to that offer free or low-cost, peace of mind, royalty-free music. Here are some options. First off, just Google search PodSafe Music or Creative Commons Music. YouTube has free music in their audio library, /music. Facebook is offering up some as well. They're free as well. Your podcast platform you use. Blueberry just recently added access to a library, and Spreaker has had an arrangement with Epidemic Sound for quite a while now, and that is available outside of even hosting with Spreaker. Pretty good deal, and Epidemic Sound has a pretty good library. There's also other options that include Jamendo. That's at jamendo.com. That's free. Plus, they got some great free streaming radio channels for your personal use. I've been listening to them past couple days. Give that a shot. Converse Rubber Track Sample Library. That's free. Free Music Archive, free. Our radio music is free. Incompetech is free, as well as Argo Fox. They've got some really cool, funky music there as well. The remaining ones I've found, or at least want to mention, have some membership plans or purchasing credits or a monthly fee, or just some basic low cost. And they do include audio blocks, stock music, podcast music, as I mentioned earlier, Epidemic Sound. Again, you're going to get a better deal going through Spreaker than you will straight off Epidemic Sound. So try going through Spreaker first. Audio Jungle, stock music. And you know what? Think about this. Hire a local musician or band. Why? Well, not only do you get to promote that you had your podcast theme music custom made, but you also have a local band who will probably promote your podcast as well. Hey, if you found a great resource, send me an email and I'll update this list. And what it will become, hopefully an ever-growing list, email me at circle270media plus the plus sign, podmusic@gmail.com. That's circle270media, the plus sign, podmusic@gmail.com. I'm going to give you and your podcast a shout in my weekly email Open the Mic newsletter if you've got any other suggestions as well. So shoot me an email, circle270media, the plus sign, podmusic@gmail.com. Thanks for taking notes with me.